It's time for another sim racing cockpit review, and today we're looking at Next Level Racing's flagship, the FGT Elite 160. In this video, I'll unbox it, build it, and give you my first impressions. And by the way, it's the Ferrari Edition. Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. And today, guess what? We are building a new sim rig. And I know what you are thinking because I thought the exact same thing. And initially, when Next Level Racing reached out to me and asked if I wanted to review one of their rigs, I was like, do I even have the space for this? And I'm already super happy with my current setups. But then they said it's the Ferrari Edition. And as you know, I am a big Ferrari fan, so I just couldn't say no. So today I'm gonna be building the FGT Elite 160 Ferrari Edition from Next Level Racing. So let's take these boxes upstairs and build this thing. Look at that. There's some fake carbon fiber here, but as you know, I'm a big fan of carbon fiber, so I really like that look on the aluminum pieces. Okay, so I just brought everything upstairs, and as you can see, the box itself is actually really well made. All the parts have their own specific little box. The only downside here is that, as you can see, a lot of the styrofoam just broke during transport, I'm guessing. So I'm having kind of a styrofoam mess. I have some everywhere a little bit, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so I just cleaned everything up. So it's time to take a look at the seat. A box in a box. Okay, let's see how this thing looks like. Dang. Ah, that looks so good. It's amazing. It's super soft as well. Of course, the Ferrari branding on the top here. Let's try it out. It feels really comfortable, and it's not too big actually, because sometimes the seats tend to be too large for me, but this one is actually really nice. I'll have to see when it's on the rig, of course, but so far it feels really snug. It is really soft. It is a kind of a suede-like material, like not really Alcantara, but similar, and I really like that feeling. It's really snug. It really fits your body well. I can really imagine myself go from the GT position to the Formula position. When you're on the GT, you still get that bucket seat. You're really kind of snug in there, but then when you go Formula, your back is really supported and it's comfortable at the same time. It's padded enough that I think it will be comfortable even if you're driving for a long time. So looking at the manual, it looks like there are 73 steps from the beginning to installing the seat on the rig. So we'll see how long it takes me. That seems like a lot of steps, but there are not that many pieces, so I'm hoping it's not gonna take that long. So I'm gonna start by opening all the hardware and tools to see exactly what I have available. One thing that I already like that I've seen in this bag is that there is a level, which is always something that I'm missing when I'm building the rigs. So I really like that they included that in there. As you can see, it looks like they're all labeled, which is going to be really helpful. That's always one of the most painful things when you're building a rig, is making sure that you're using the right bolts and not mixing them up together. So I think it's really nice that they actually put them all together and labeled each of the bags. The first step is to build the base of the rig, so I'm gonna start with that. Hopefully the manual will be enough, but if not, I can always pull up the instruction video through the QR code that they have here. I'm hoping that with my experience I should be able to do it fairly easily, but we'll see. So far I can say that building the base of the rig, it looks like it's going to be very sturdy. They're using really huge bolts that are directly going through the sides of the rig, so I think everything is going to be super sturdy. The instructions are pretty clear so far, no major issues there, so let's keep going. So now that the base is built, next step is to put the feet on. So now I'm gonna build the sides of it. This is the right side. It's gonna come right here. So in order to attach it to the base of the rig, I have this plate right here. So I'm gonna attach it on the plate, and then I'll be able to attach the plate directly to the base of the rig. Okay, so I have the side mounted, the base of the rig of course, and the next step is gonna be the base plate that is going to come right here in between. I have to say, so far everything has been super easy. It's been very straightforward. It's been less than an hour that I am at it and it's already taking form. And one thing that I really like is if you look here, there are like those little marks, gradients that you can follow, and it makes it really easy to adjust both sides at the exact same spot. And that's something that I wish all companies would do, because building other rigs before, I would always struggle to perfectly align both sides. So props to Next Level Racing for that. So I'm now going to install the base plate, and same thing as for the feet of the rig, we have the same graduation on the sides here, which allows me to make sure that I'm gonna install it exactly level on both sides. Okay, it's pretty level, so I should be able to attach the other side now. So now that the wheelbase mount is on, the next step is to build the pedal plate. So I'm pretty much halfway through with the pedal plate. The only thing that I need to add are those two pieces that are gonna go in the front and in the back here. And after that, we're gonna go on to the seat brackets. But I have to say, this is a pretty unusual design for the rig. I think it looks pretty cool, but that was definitely kind of a little bit tricky to adjust here. But again, because of these lines here, it made the adjustments a lot easier and everything is very straight and aligned. So I am getting close to finishing this rig. I just installed the sliders, and the next step will be the brackets, the thick carbon fiber brackets. So that's actually the first downside that I found to this rig is if you want to move the seat, you're basically going to have to untie 4 of these knobs, 2 on each side. I'm used to having a lever under the seat that I can just pull and then move the seat front and back. With this, you would have to move everything at once and then tie it again. So definitely not a big deal, but when it comes to convenience, I would definitely rather have the other style. Right guys, so I'm pretty much done with this thing, just installed the seat, and I have to say it looks super cool. I really like the design of it. It was really quick to install. I've never installed any rig that fast and really wanted to see how it feels. Again, the seat super comfortable. I really like the design. Everything has to be adjusted, of course. The base plate is way too high right now for the wheelbase and the steering wheel, and then the pedals. But I can imagine how it will feel like once it's all in place, and I think that's gonna be a really nice one. So really excited to see how it is when it's all done and finished. But for now, tomorrow I'm just gonna add the finishing touches like the end caps and everything like that. The only thing that I didn't put on the rig yet is the arm for the shifter. I don't think I'm gonna add a shifter just now, so no rush on that, but I'll definitely add it in the future. Okay, so it's the next day. Yesterday we built this thing and today I'm gonna be reviewing it, checking all the features and show you exactly what this rig is all about. But before we get there, I have a couple of things to finalize. First is putting the end caps on the rig so it looks nice and finished. I also have to add the seat belts that come with the seat. I think it's gonna give it a nice finish for the overall rig, and I have to clean up the room a little bit. So let's start with that. Okay, so we're all done. What do you guys think about this rig? I think it looks amazing. I think it looks really clean. Actually, I like the finish on it. I like having the harness. I think it adds a little bit of pop to it, and of course with the Ferrari logo, it's just amazing. So super happy with it. But now it's time to really review it, check the features of the rig and the pros and cons. And first of all, let's talk about the installation. As you've seen, it was really fast. I was on my own building this thing, and it's probably the fastest I've ever built a rig. It was probably 3 hours or so to do everything. It was really straightforward. Everything came in one box only, which is super convenient because you don't have to look for different parts in different boxes. All the tools and all the hardware are in that same box. So super convenient, but one thing to note is that it's super heavy. So if, like me, you have to take it upstairs, you'll definitely have to open the box and take each part out separately. It's not a big deal, but definitely something to know because you won't be able to carry that box on your own. However, everything was super well packaged, and as you saw, there are not that many parts to build this rig, which I really like because that's the reason why it was so easy to build, and the instructions were very clear, so it made the process really straightforward. One thing that I need to mention are actually the T-nuts that I used to put this rig together. If you look at the one that they're providing, they're very different from the traditional ones that you may have seen for other rigs. They're also quite bigger, and they're built exactly to fill the gap here, which means that once they're in, you can't move them around. I don't know if you've ever used this before, but it's always a struggle because they're too small for the openings usually in the aluminum rig, which means that when you try to move them around or to actually put a screw in there, they might move to the side, and it's just such a pain then to move them back. So definitely something that I was super thankful for Next Level Racing to change this, because that made the whole process a lot easier. And another thing that I really liked is that the end caps actually still leave an opening for the T-nuts. So if there's anything that you want to add on your rig later on, you don't have to take them off, then add the new T-nuts and everything and put them back. So now let's talk about the features of this rig. And as its name suggests, it is made from 160mm aluminum. That's how large these parts are, and that means it should be really, really rigid. And I'm definitely going to be doing a test later on this rig. Right now, as you see, I don't have any gear to test it out, but it should be very sturdy. However, it does not mean that it is not versatile. The other thing from the name is the FGT Elite. It means that you can go from a GT sitting position to a Formula position in just a few adjustments. So if you want to move the seat from the GT to the Formula position, you just have to loosen this knob here. Make sure that your bolts at the back are not too tight either, and then you can easily just lift it up and then tighten back, and you're now in Formula position. When it comes to the pedal plate, the first thing that you can adjust is the height at which you put your base plate, and of course when you go into Formula, you will want to have it higher. So all you have to do is loosen this bolt here and lift the entire thing as high as you want. The second adjustment is on those brackets here. You'll see on the inside you have two knobs that you can loosen up, and exactly in the same way as you move the seat, you can just move this plate up. I definitely like the adjustability that this rig offers, but as you saw, it takes quite some time to go from one seating position to the next one, so I definitely wouldn't change it every day, but still for a traditional aluminum rig, I think it is the most versatility that you will ever get. Last but not least, let's talk about the value of the FGT Elite 160 Ferrari Edition. This is definitely a premium rig and it comes at a price of $1,200. However, you can get the same thing without the Ferrari Edition for $200 less, and what you are getting with the Ferrari Edition is the logo on the front plate, you're getting the red stripe on the side of the rig, and you're also getting the carbon fiber print, pedal plate brackets, and the seat brackets as well. So you pretty much have to be a Ferrari fan to get this special edition. As you know, I am a big Ferrari fan, and I kind of wish that there was a little bit more Ferrari branding on the rig itself. Usually when you look at your rig, it would usually be from the back if you're coming behind it, or from the side view. Honestly, my other rigs, I never really see them from the front because that's where all your cables and your computer are going to be. So I feel like the logo is really cool, but I'm never really gonna see it. Thankfully, there is also the Ferrari seat, which I think looks amazing, and with the harness in red looks even more like Ferrari. So I think it's really nice branding, and I think overall the finish is nice, but again, I think a little bit more Ferrari branding wouldn't be too much. And talking about the seat, if you want the Ferrari Edition, it will be $499. It is $100 more than the version without the Ferrari logo, so definitely kind of an investment if you just want to have this extra logo. It is Ferrari after all, so not really surprised about that, but I think it's a nice touch. It makes it more unique, and as you know, I like rigs that are a little bit more special, and I think it really adds to this traditional black aluminum look. So at the end of the day, the real question is it worth its price? And to be honest, it's a little bit hard to tell right now because I haven't tried it with everything on. I haven't really put it to the test yet, but so far from what I'm seeing, it is very strong, it's versatile, and I think if you compare it to other rigs on the market that offer the same feature set, they will be in the same price range. So if you want something cheaper, you can definitely forget about the Ferrari branding and just save $200, $300 actually if you go with the ES1 seat that is not Ferrari branded. So I think it's a very good option if you want something that is strong, that will last over time, and that allows you to really go from the GT to the Formula position in just a few minutes. Right, so that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments below. In future videos, I will put this rig to the test when I put all the gear on it and build a full setup. So don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.